Okay, we're going to talk about saddles again today. And before we really get after that, put a saddle on, let's talk about horses and how saddles fit. So a good set of withers to me is a real important thing on a horse. And you know, horses, she's got a real nice set, a real nice back that fits a saddle. But the thing I really think is important, besides the set of withers, is for her, she has a nice gut on her. And the way her gut is kind of big, she's not real straight gutted like a lot of real performance horses are. And it'll hold the saddle real good. That gut holds your cinch up. Now, I don't have to use a back cinch or breast collar or anything. So the conformation of your horse is real important for a good saddle. Now, we talked about the hardwood saddle the other day. And I like to kind of use different pads for different, like this pad fits under this saddle that I'm going to be using, and she's got a nice set of withers, but not real pronounced, so I can use a pretty thin pad with just a cover over the top of it. So I kind of choose my pads to fit the horse. And this saddle, the saddle I'm going to use today, that I've been using on Delilah, is a Texas style saddle. And for years I've been riding, well, I started out riding when I was a little kid. I had a Texas saddle. It was a lot like this that my grandfather had purchased from my uncle. And the great thing about that is I wish I could find that saddle for one of our grandkids, or both of them. But the horn was bent down in the front, and I always remember riding that. It was a little rough out saddle, real punchy, swell fork, but the horn was bent down, and a horse had rolled over on my uncle or pony or something, and it bent that horn down. And I remember that about that saddle. But I went a lot of miles in that bugger. But then, of course, I rode trophy saddles that my uncle had won, and then I had an old Hamley that I rode forever that I got from my grandfather, Leonard. And so then, of course, when I started going into some clinics and learning some stuff, everybody was riding swell fork or slick fork saddles and wades, and like you saw in some of the other videos. But this, I've been wanting a Texas saddle. And so in my form, I started looking around, and I found this one on eBay. No, Craigslist. And so Craigslist Billings. So I was just watching, and I saw this saddle, and I kind of put in my mind I want to get a swell fork Texas made saddle, just from my grandfather's legacy of being a Texan. And so I found this one, and it's by Tad Sanders from Aubrey, Texas. And it's got a brand in there. So it's not my brand, that's somebody else's brand, but I got it. The young guy that had it, I think he bought it new or had it made new, and he rode it. He rode this bugger a bunch. But I really like it. I like the way the stirrups hang. It really sets me nice on a horse. I like the rigging position, and I like this flat plate rigging. And I probably won't have a saddle without a flat plate rigging or inskirt that's pretty flat. It really fits a horse nice, settles down. And then, of course, all my saddles except my hardwood have latigos that are adjustable on both sides. And back cinch, everything. But I really, really like this. This saddle's a little different. Most of my other saddles have the cinch hangers up in the back, but this one has in the front. It's hooked right onto the latigo keeper, which is kind of nice. The rope strap is quite a bit different on this saddle. It's just a regular old rope strap, and actually Buster McClowry taught me how to hang a rope strap with a non-Oregon crossover style rope. I want to really learn to tie off and rope tied on, and I'm going to get somebody to help me do that. But anyway, that's that. So we'll go to the other side and just cinch her up, and I'll just talk a little bit about how I cinch a horse. Now, Delilah was real bothered when like saddled a colt for the first time or something. I know a lot of people, like, they'll say reach with your left hand, and I wouldn't disagree with that. She could kick me with that right foot if I had my head down there, my ear down there, reaching for my stirrup. But if I have my left hand on her and right at her withers, and I put my elbow against her, I can support her and help her stay with me while I reach for that cinch. And then I don't just reach and grab and surprise her. It's a 3-point contact, I call it. So that's just a little thing. But this saddle, It fits her real nice. I need to put that foot forward, but I'll go ahead and you can just see how I hold my cinch up to her belly with my 2 fingers, and I'll be real smooth, and I'll push down and pull up, and I'm gonna step her back just a half a step here so that those feet are square. Now it's easier to cinch there. It gives me room there. I'll hold against her, and that's plenty right there. Pull that out, pull my tongue in, and now lately I've been bringing my latigos in from the back and out. And that just helps them to keep from flopping out on me. As they don't, it has more resistance there, and you don't lose your latigo. If you try to horse a bunch, you'll use your latigo sometimes, and then they'll step on it. There. I'll just tuck that down in there. But it's got an in padded seat. I don't even know what you call that. I've never had a saddle with that before, and I don't know if I like it or not. It doesn't bother me. Doesn't matter. But anyway, I think it's a real good fitting saddle. I think the swells are just right. I really like the seat. The way it sets me is more of like a dressage saddle or an equitation seat. It's not as deep as some of my wades, and I really feel like I can balance myself better on the horse with that. With these swells and the wide gullet, it sits right down on a horse real nice. So if you're gonna rope something, I kind of like the little horn. I've roped a little bit with it and just gotta take a couple extra turns. So it's a fun saddle, it's something different, and I really, really like riding it.